Hi guys, take a look at the various videos that are present on the screen right now. Do you think these are real, or do you think all these are just an illusion? Now, all these things is what we can term as the objective world. Now, many scientists, including the great Albert Einstein, had said that there is an objective world out there which is completely blinding mankind to see what the real world is. Now, if we remove all the scientific words such as objective and real, illusion and reality, we can just focus on two very important things. If you are a follower of history, you would understand that in the Hindu period of time, there are four ages which are very, very common. One is the Satya Yuga, where we believe that according to the books that people were more peaceful as people communicated through the mind more than through words. Now, there are no distinct scriptures or any sort of tales or kingdom stories that we can have during the period of Satya Yuga. Then what follows is the Treta Yuga. The one thing that we know about the Treta Yuga as per some books is it is believed that the Hindu epic Ramayana took place during the Treta Yuga. And then we have the Dwapar Yuga. It is also believed that it is during the Dwapar Yuga that the Hindu epic Mahabharata had taken place. And now finally, at the end of the Dwapar Yuga, it is believed that Krishna was sitting under a tree, and when he eventually died, that marked the beginning of Kali Yuga. And now it is believed that at the end of Kali Yuga, there will be a Kalki avatar that will take the world back to Satya Yuga. Now you would wonder why I spoke about the objective world and the reality and then brought up these four age groups. Now when we speak about Satya Yuga and when people communicated through their mind, it was very evident that the gap between illusion and reality was as close as possible. In the Treta Yuga, it widened a little bit. In the Dwapar Yuga, it widened more. And now in the Kali Yuga, the gap between illusion and reality is so wide as many of us are oblivious to the fact on what is real and what is an illusion. Now, the word real and illusion is not something that we see in science fiction movies with something out of the world, buildings upside down, flying cars and any of that. But it is how we respond to the actions that are happening in the objective world today. For example, for a lot of people, we believe that sexual pleasure is the most important thing for a human being's life. For some of us believe that work is the most important thing that we need to have over family, some of them the other way around. So all these little things, when we get attached to, we are getting attached to something that has a time value and a space value. Now here the word time value means something that has a start and something that has a finish. Now your career, your family, your goals, your ambitions, all your needs and desires, everything has a beginning and an end. So all these put together, we can call it to be an objective world. You are blinded by all these needs and wants and desires that you're not seeing something that exists beyond that particular horizon, which is the real world. And the reality is all about who really is a human being and what is the true purpose of that particular human being. Now, in this objective world, we have a lot of carrots that enable us to keep moving and go and reach for that carrot. But the question that the Bhagavad Gita asks is, what happens when those carrots start running out? Then we will have to come in face with reality that none of these are really present as reality, but are just a shadow of what is supposed to be real. And thereby the Bhagavad Gita offers a very, very simple advice to all of mankind. And that is, when you're living in the objective world, you cannot change it because you belong in this objective world as a human being. But what you can do is not get attached to any possession of the objective world, or in some ways we can call today as the material world. Going beyond that, a man will not be involved at the time of dissolution of this world, which is what the books call as Kalki Avatar, some scientists call as climate change, and we simply call as the creation of a new world order. No man who is being involved by his own possessions or crumbled by his desires is disturbed at the end of dissolution, and thereby he will not have any sort of suffering in life. Now that's the end of this particular video, which is part 2 of chapter 13, and I would see you guys in the next video. Until then, it is goodbye, and of course, thank you for watching.